Okay, Jason Moomaw, Jam on the Fly. I want to show you my Copper John, Jam Copper John, and basically it's a typical Copper John pattern. I tie it maybe in a quicker way, maybe I'm not sure exactly, but I go through a lot of these every year. Give a lot away to people while we're doing our float trips and things like that. And just wanted to show you how I tie this thing up. Videos all over the place for Copper John ties. Let me just show you maybe what I do is a little bit different, maybe a little bit creative, maybe you'll pick up on something. Let me just zoom in on this. You see it's a nice, beautiful little tie, nice little fly. And if I could get this all squared away, I am using, this is a Tiemco 100, but you use 94-840 size 14. And again, I do a whole row of these in my box because one of the most effective flies. Put a little bead on there, 1/8 inch bead, whatever color you want. And I just stick with a darker thread. 6/0 thread's fine. Let me get some light on this, get it a little bit lit up for you. And a little less lit up on my eyes. There we go. Okay, biot. I take a biot and I'm just going to snip out 2 pieces of biot. I tie them in one at a time. Tie them in 2 at a time. It just seems for me to get a little bit nicer to tie them in individually. So again, we'll take one off to that side, camera side. One off to my side. I like these to be long, and the reason is everything on this Copper John is so rigid. You only get a little bit of movement out of the tail and stuff like that when you give it a little length. So I like to leave them longer. Besides that, if you look at a lot of the mayflies and stuff, they do have longer tail, but you can get them. You can make them as long as short as you want. Again, we're going to take copper wire, medium copper wire, because it is a size 14, so we'll use medium copper wire. I'm going to stick that just shy of the eye. That's the way I tie these. I don't go the whole way up to the head. I just tie them shy of the eye. Come back, make a good solid wrap. And you can see where we are right there. Nice split tails. And the wire right on there. And we're going to wrap that to the front. I'm going to actually just build up a little bit here in the front. Right here where and just kind of build a little bit of a taper into it. So we have a little bit of a tapering body. Let that hang. And then I just come over and I just, again, rather than tying off my piece or my thread, I just let it hang. I don't really care what it's doing. And you can get that on there real quickly, just like that. You see it has a little bit of a taper. We'll be tying up on that. Nothing, no material in the thorax area. If you notice that, there's no material in the thorax area. I leave that area wide open. Thin skin, cut a strip of thin skin, 1/4 inch. About a 1/4 inch. And peel it off. Again, we're just going to tie this in right behind the shank, and now as I lift this, I can see how far back I want that for my thorax. Ice dubbing. Okay, so the ice dub that I use is either pheasant tail or olive brown. Both are really nice colors for this. And I do this on the bigger flies in lieu of peacock. On the smaller Copper Johns, I'll use peacock, mixture of peacock dubbing, but because of quickness, I like to do this in the peacock ice dub. Again, right behind the eye, you're going to take yourself a Indian hen neck. Get to the length of feather that you want, snip out the tip, fold a couple of fibers front, fold a couple of fibers back, get yourself a nice set of legs in there, And I like them to have a little bit of length to them too, because again, it's the only thing holding. Come right in there and snip that out. And again, fold over. Come right behind the bead, lift up on that. Let's make 2 wraps behind and then in front of the shank. Hold that straight up and just cut straight across. Makes it a little raggedy there. I kind of like that. Makes it look a little buggy up towards the head. And whip finish. And that is all there is to it. Now if you want, you can, you see how nice and how beautiful that fly is. And like I said, if you want, you can add a little bit of the Bondic. Okay, so normally I don't do this, but I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm basically just running a bead from front to back, right over the back, to make that hump like you would epoxy, and then we're going to cure that. Just hit that with the light, and there you go. You got a nice humpback Copper John, and that's the way I tie a Copper John. Very quick tie. One fly that I have a whole row of, size 14s, should be in your fly box all the time for trout. JM Copper John. JM on the fly, and I'm out of here.